This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, 4 teams are fighting to keep their champions runs alive as we got back-to-back elimination matches on the docket. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Day 8 of Champions Seoul.
Oh, is that how you say it in
live.
Korean? So topical.
I wish I knew. Of course, we're live here at the COEX Artium in Seoul, South Korea. Of course, the Golden Boy here alongside Mimi, and joining us for the first time on the desk, Baby Bay. So it's like an America's desk, basically. We're back again.
Yeah,
we're back
in
again.
NA, huh?
How's it feel to be in Korea, man?
It's awesome, and yeah, first champs too. Like being a caster, I had my debut.
You finally made it to champs.
That was sick, and the game that we, yeah, exactly. That's the big one, right? I finally made it. I'm here, baby.
Dude,
let's go.
We're 30 seconds into the desk, and you're already digging on his pro career.
I have no pro career, so he can dig at me as much as he wants. To be fair,
I'm gonna bring up your most horrible loss in Halo in 2004.
Oh, some game battles wager.
There actually were some bad game battles matches, so we'll go ahead and churn through the results there. But all right, let's go ahead and talk about what happened yesterday here, because we had our first set of elimination matches here at Champions. And first up, it was Sentinels taking on FPX. We were concerned, Mimi, about what was going to be the form of Sentinels coming into this one, and I think they made some great adjustments, and the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, they locked in. They moved away from the deadlock ideas, switching off of that agent in that series, and just showing, I think, some much better team play, a revitalized Zekin as well to get that win for Sen. They got to play Gen G, so it's still a tough road, but it was even tougher for Billy, who kind of got rolled in this series.
Yeah, they basically got contacted all around the map by Crew, and they did exactly the thing that we know Crew to do, Baby Bay, but they're moving on, and it's unfortunate for Billy, but if you're a Crew fan, and we know there are quite a few out there, they're quite satisfied with that result.
And are they going to make a run now? They have Fnatic next up. I mean, you don't know with this team.
And
sometimes
this kind
it's not impossible.
History maybe could be repeating itself a little bit.
I'm saying, every time I count Crew out, every time I think Crew are going to win, they lose, and every time I count them out,
literally, the second you stop believing, this team becomes good. Yeah, Billy, I think just not quite there yet. The rest of the Chinese region has shown some really good development at Champions, but their fundamentals are still not up to snuff to play against a top-tier international talent at an event like Champions. But still, I think a great learning opportunity for that team being sent home and getting to reset for 2025.
Yeah, of course. But let's go ahead and focus on what is going to be coming up here today, because we got Pacific versus EMEA on both matches, as a matter of fact. Yesterday was Americas versus the VCT China region. This time around,
every stage of this event is just everyone opening match was same region versus same region, and it's just stayed that way all the way through.
Kept going, right? We got Talon taking on Vitality, and then afterwards, it's going to be PaperX versus Foot. Now, if you win today, you have Leviathan as well as Edward Gaming waiting on the other side, so no big deal.
Tough matches.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Easy clap.
Easy clap.
No, not at all.
And the form that we saw the teams in as well that you have to go up against, it's going to be rough playing against Leviathan, who, I mean, they got outplayed by Trace, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But still, Leviathan are insane, and then you have EDG, who looked amazing against G2. They should not be down on themselves about that performance.
Well, actually, let's talk about Trace a little bit more. We like talking about Trace. They've been the talk of the town this entire tournament. It brings us to our MasterCard fan poll. We want to know which team has been the biggest surprise. Is it DRX, Trace, or Team Heretics? Of course, you can scan the QR code right here. Go nuts. Have a good time with it. And make sure you use the hashtags, VCT as well as VALORANT Champions. Go nuts, all right? Have fun with that.
We do a lot of poll questions that are open-ended that we want to hear the feedback. This is a test. Yeah. There's a right answer.
Yeah, there actually is a right answer. There is a right answer. We'll find out what that right answer is.
Heretics, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So they say. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the first matchup of the day here. We got Talon Esports. Now, the thing is that they came off of a loss against Leviathan, but I think a lot of people looked at that and said, well, Talon, they certainly have what it takes. So they're coming into this one, I think, feeling a little bit better about themselves despite the loss against Lev.
The story of this team all year has been, okay, we push teams to the limit that are top tier, like top 3, top 4 in their region and also internationally, but they just cannot close out these games.
Yeah.
They struggle in those moments.
But I do think they played to their win conditions here. They came out with this new comp, the Neon Yoru on Bind, and honestly, it looked pretty rehearsed. I think they had some good ideas on the attacking side for taking space. They controlled the pace of that first match and really pushed Leviathan onto the back foot. But towards the end of Bind and in map 2 of Ascent, I think their fundamentals caught up with them. Leviathan slowed the game way down, and that's where we saw some of these risky plays that Talon was making that they kind of became known for in Pacific get punished. It was 6 rounds lost that, I mean, you heard it from Frost in the coach interview. They should have won map number 1, and they let it slip and lost the series as a result of it.
Yeah, you got to be able to close out at this stage of the game, right? You're a champion, you're playing against the best in the world. You have to close it no matter what.
And it's so big too, because this is a team that has so many rookie players coming into their first champions. There's so much pressure.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's when you have 4 rookies, I guess that's part of the sauce of why they're not closing out these games. They just need the experience, and I mean, they made it this far, which is, I don't think anybody really
No,
thought
it was
that
already
gonna
a shock for them to even make it to champs.
Yeah, exactly, it was. But speaking of one of the rookies, though, let's actually check in with Gavna, who spoke with Yinsu earlier on. Let's check it out.
I'm now joined by Governor from Talon. Now, everybody is very excited about your teammate Primmie, and of course, he's going to be going up against Safe on the other side today. What are your views on this matchup? Who do you think is going to come out on top today?
I think Primmie has come a long way in terms of being integrated into our team. As a lot of people know, he's kind of joined, I think it was only 4 weeks ago, so he hasn't had as much time as everyone else to get adjusted, but I think we've done as much as we can in terms of like the preparation for this matchup. But, you know, practice is a reflection of like who we are and like how we play. I think we'll come out on top.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much.
And you heard Governor there talking about Primmie coming into the lineup not that long ago, just 4 weeks, but his impact has already been felt, baby bay. Like, this kid is talented.
Oh, he's definitely the truth, and it's a development era right now for Talon, right? You have 4 rookies, and you have a prodigy on your team. And he's insane. I mean, even in the last match against Lev, they were getting absolutely clapped on Ascent, but he was still all the way up there. He had like 20 plus kills.
I think everyone's worried that he would get to champions and choke on the big stage. And I think he played as well as he did in Pacific. He didn't look nervous. His aiming style was still the same, just that clean, perfect crosshair placement and these incredibly fast adjustments. And he won rounds single-handedly for Talon. But the critical thing is that him winning rounds individually was not enough for this team. They got beat on the team play by a Leviathan who looked pretty clean in map number 2 of that series.
Yeah, you definitely see the mindset of like what Talon have and what they utilize to the best of their potential. If they're able to hone in on those, as we keep talking about, those fundamentals, baby, this is a scary team.
Yeah, and maybe they can finally close out a map, especially here on the big stage, right?
Yeah.
And take a map or even a series against a top 4 team in a prospective region.
If Talon's going to win a series at Champions, they aren't going to do it just because of Primmie, but I do think he needs to play as well as he did in that last match. He is critical to this team's success, but everyone else has to step up. They have to show the team that was good in Pacific, not the team who's letting matches slip. They've been on a bit of a downslide, losing 2 series straight to go out after qualifying to Champions, and then losing another 0-2 to start their run here. I think that one map win, that confidence that they could get instilled from that, could power them up to actually win a series. This is a doable matchup.
Yeah, it totally is, But let's go ahead and shift over to the other side of the stage because we have Vitality Safe standing by with Yinsu for a check-in.
I'm now standing by with Safe from Team Vitality. Now, Safe, you were at Champs last year as well, and I know it was a very heartbreaking way to end your tournament because you were eliminated at the group stage. So how do we stop history from repeating itself now?
I mean, obviously it's heartbreaking to have left last Champs so fast and kind of coming into the same scenario as this one, whether we do or die today. I'm very excited, but today I brought with me the Snake. And for me, it's about renewal, it's about immortality, and if it's not this tournament, it's next tournament, but for today, we are gonna fight.
I can't wait to see it. Good luck today.
Now, Team Vitality is coming into this one with, a bit of a run that they have managed to gone through here, right? Like, this is a squad that has talent. Safe is one of those guys, and he's talking about how, you know what, Argentina lost the first game of the World Cup, so maybe Safe sees a little bit of Messi in himself.
So poetic.
Yeah, he's one of those players that it's just like, trying to be a poet all the time. But if he actually like internalizes that stuff, it's good for motivation.
But the thing that I want to harp on here, though, is that he was not he did not show up in that last game. He was struggling to get that rhythm going. And I feel like for Vitality, Baby Bay, in order to find that success, kind of like what we were talking about with Primmie, you're really going to be looking at Safe here to kind of be the tip of the spear for them.
Yeah, he's the one that got him here. Honestly, he had such big pop-off moments in EMEA, dropping 20 bombs, 30 bombs, clutch scenarios on top of it on
He looked
Neon,
like a top 3 player in EMEA.
It was unreal what we were watching. And yeah, it was just AFK last time.
And the thing is that he's shown up to international events before. You think back to Lock-In, to Champions last year. It's never gone his way. He's always been this talent that performs so well in Europe, that gets so hyped up heading into these internationals, and hasn't managed to show his best form and get it over the line yet. So for him, I think it means the world to be here on another champion stage and have another opportunity to prove himself. He just has to do it.
Yeah, but, you know, we were talking about this with Talon and the amount of rookies that they have in their team, but Vitality also has a few fresh faces on the lineup that are coming here at Champs too. And let's go ahead and take a closer look at Vitality's rookies and hear what they and their coach had to say to Mitch Mann heading into Champs.
Hello everybody, I'm joined here by Gorilla, Kicks, and Runner from Team Vitality. Very excited to have you guys with me. First of all, thank you for all coming along. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us.
So I wanted to start, obviously we've got the Estonian Player of the Week and our Macedonian Duelist turned Sentinel. This is the first time that either of those countries, your countries, are represented at this level here in Champions. First of all, how does that feel, and what does it mean to you to be representing your country on this stage?
I mean, of course, to me it means a lot to represent my country because no one has done it before, and hopefully I can inspire other people to get into Valorant. That is my, you know, my dream. Inspire other people, get into Valorant. Maybe they make it here one day, but yeah, it definitely means a lot to me.
What about for you, Chris?
I'd say that esports in Estonia is quite big, quite known. Like we have some prominent names in other games, whether that's Robson, CS, or some other people, but when it comes to Valorant, it's not really as big. So I definitely hope to inspire people to either follow the esports scene more when it comes to Valorant or get into the Valorant scene themselves, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good to hear, guys. And well, I wanted to take this back a little bit to the start of the season. I've heard some interesting stories coming out of Team Vitality, and one of them involved kayaking, which isn't a normal practice, I guess. When we think about scrims, we think about the day-to-day of a team. But I heard there was some competition going on in the team bonding session. What was this about a race?
So we had a team activity day where we went kayaking, and we were like in a river in Berlin, and we went a long way. And then when we started turning back, it was me and Trex in one kayak, Safe and Runner in the other one, and we said, what if we race back? And the bet was whoever loses has to jump in the water, like clothes on and everything.
Okay.
Actually, no, not clothes on, but forget that part. But then for like 20 minutes, we went full power all the way back. It was very exhausting. And this guy started cheating. He started using his hands. We were like really close with the kayaks at one point, and he started pulling us back constantly. But then
playing dirty.
And then they completely got the lead. It was like
he's letting some parts out.
Me and Trex thought it was over, and then at the end they got stuck by like a post in the water, and they just got stuck literally at the end. The post was in front of the end, and then me and Trex finished first.
He left the part out where they were cheating as well, but you know, it's fine. Nah, it's fine.
Sounds like it just became an all-out
It was fair
brawl.
game at that point. You started it, and Safe decided to not take part in the punishment. Yeah, but Runner jumped into the water.
Fair play, a man of his word.
Yeah, a man of his word.
Yeah. Even if the pole was the one that got in the way. Look, I wanted to also ask you guys about, like, you faced a lot of the EMEA teams. Heretics, you beat them twice. You've beaten everybody except for Fnatic. Those are the only losses you had in Stage 2. And with that in perspective, do you guys feel like you're maybe underrated at an EMEA, a national level? I feel like any other team that that only loses to Fnatic will be held in a bit of a high regard. I don't know how you guys feel.
How do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, when I went on the analyst desk in EMEA, I said that Fnatic's kind of like the litmus test to be taken seriously. And I said, like, if you beat Fnatic, then that's when people start to actually get their eye on you and start to, oh yeah, they're actually in contention for something, and we haven't done that. So then I guess my theory stands true. But yeah, I think we are a bit like, under the radar in terms of like internationally. Like, there's not many people like that talk about us in the wider international scene, and whether that's a blessing or a curse or whatever. So yeah, I do think we are a bit underrated in that sense.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to your game. Guys, that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for joining us here, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you for having us.
Back to you guys.
Team Vitality have an opportunity here to have the whole world talking about them if they can continue and go on a run. The run that brought them here to begin with. So if they can find that energy that catapulted them to this very stage, Mimi, well, I think this Vitality team does have the tools and the capability to be able to go far. They just got to find that rhythm.
Absolutely. When a poll was taken of all the pro players at Champions coming into this event, the pros voted the most underrated team at this event was Vitality, and I think that's for good reason. This team looked great in EMEA, made it all the way to the finals, losing out to only Fnatic, as they were mentioning in that interview. But this opening match, I think might have dropped some of those expectations, because for a team known for how good their macro is, they got out-called by Trace completely in this series.
Yeah, it was crazy from Trace, but this Trace that they played against, I mean, they're a macro-centered team from the start of this entire year. I mean, the start of that roster, so it's tough. And if you don't do your due diligence and maybe they underrated Trace themselves, that's what happens, and you don't have the results that you want.
Yeah, I think that map 3 especially was telling to me, because Trace came out, they played this Deadlock comp, which they had only, I believe, played once before going into this one. And watching Vitality, I didn't feel like they had like the internal clock right playing against the Deadlock. They didn't win a round on their defensive side because they were trying to play these set retakes, but I didn't think they were doing a very good job of dealing with that Deadlock utility and just could never get back in. And that kind of inability to adapt cooked what was a very close series for them.
And they're going to have that ability going up against a team like Talon, who constantly just put out new stuff.
I feel like they changed their comps more than anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, like, I did the pleasure of talking with Frost quite a bit, and he has, like, comps that he's been saving since 100 Thieves, man. Like, I'm not even joking.
Fair. I mean,
it's interesting, but, you know, like,
could be problematic.
And I think Vitality, a lot of people have centered the conversation on some of the individual underperformances, I think especially with Safe in that series.
Yeah.
But I really feel like that game came down to the macro and to the IGLing. And I think that under the pressure of the style a team like Talon does, it's going to have to be all about the adaptation and also about staying in the right form with your fundamentals to not get caught off guard by Talon. They're a real test to play against.
Yeah, but you know what, though? One of the bright spots of that, especially map 1 and 2, I mean, Trex was great.
It's unreal.
Trex was fan-freaking-tastic. And if he can channel a little bit of that in this one and, you know, the rest of the team starts to shoot behind him, Vitality could be finding themselves, you know, in a pretty decent position here. And let's actually go ahead and hear from Trex about that opening loss to Trace in this Omen player moment.
Hello, I'm Trex from Vitality and I'm playing Initiator role. I mean, it's a hard loss for us. I think everyone expected more from this game. Like, even though we lost first map and like we used to lose first map because it's always a slow start for us. So, and we came back on Sunset and we felt like, yeah, we're gonna win now. On Bind, they were playing comp that we never played before, so it got us there. And yeah, as I said, we didn't adapt in time, so that was like main point that didn't work for us. I think Sunset we played fine. I think, yeah, the other maps I didn't think we showed are like maybe even 70% or like 60%.
We're gonna go through. Couple players ringing out some shots as Paint Shells gets ready to greet them from behind. Trex able to back away as there's the rush forward, but it's 2, 3 quick and easy kills.
I mean, from what I saw today against Leviathan, they play like gimmick comps. So I think it's gonna be a very interesting match and a lot of adaptations there. There's not much else that we can do right now, so I'm gonna focus on what's ahead, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Now, of course, Trex is coming into this one with, you know, a decent amount of hype from what we saw in that first map, Mimi, or from that first series, rather. But he's certainly going to be needing to channel a little bit of that here in order to get this team over the line.
Yeah, people talk a lot about Vitality being rookies and not having many opportunities on stage before. But when Trex was really a rookie, it was 2 years ago now, playing at Masters Copenhagen, back on that guild roster. And he was playing alongside who the player who, in my opinion, is the GOAT of Sova. Leo, that guy's ridiculous. Unfortunately, not playing with Fnatic this event, but I think Trex now filling into that Sova role might be a little inspired by his former teammate, because his shock dart utility, his mechanics, and I think just how innate he looks when he's playing on this Sova role is great. And when he was playing back then at Masters Copenhagen, this guy was a race player. He was playing the primary dive. He's had such a growth since the last time he got an opportunity to play at an international.
Yeah, very impressive there, and it continues to follow the trend that we've been seeing across all the regions of duelist players, sliding into those more supportive roles, but finding success in those roles thanks to their great aim and their great understanding of the game and being way more proactive, with their utility, like we saw with Trex.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's the duelists that switch roles and they still pop off, right? You even have Runner, who was the duelist in the beginning, and he took a step back for safe to now come up as duelist once more. And now you have 3 duelists, 3 shooters on your team, but they got to show up. It can't just be the Trex.
And it's the same on the other side. Ban was playing duelist back in the day when he was playing in NA Tier 2. I know you're really familiar with the guy.
Yeah, Ban this year has played the most agents out of anybody. He's the most flexible player in the league. And granted, obviously he gets put on it, from his team that he's on, but he has played every agent. In the last 90 days, he's played, what, 9 agents?
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Right?
That is actually wild.
So he's kind of, when you think of Talon, he's actually a big stone for this team and like a consistent player. The fact that he's so flexible and is able to do this is what allows Talon to bust out these interesting compositions to counter teams or just catch teams off guard.
How do you think he's grown as a player from when you played against him in NA Tier 2 to now playing in Korea here in partnership?
Oh, I swear, I think it's similar to me. I think everyone, what they thought of me is like a Jet 1 trick.
Sure.
And I thought the same thing about him.
that was the discussion about this guy.
That's what I'm saying. So I thought it was the same thing about him. And then when we saw him on T1, we saw him play smokes and controller, and I was like, okay, he's all right. He's all right. But then being able to, Frost being able to utilize him and him being able to be a leader on this team, because he kind of is that veteran guy.
Yeah, as weird as it is to say.
Yeah,
he is now.
Kind of wild.
So the growth from him, it's insane. It's kind of like the story about Trexen a little bit, but just at a way bigger scale and way harder.
And him growing to that point, I think, is so important, being surrounded by these new players. Primmie's a great talent, but he's an unrefined talent, and he needs those experienced players, that experienced coaching, to refine him into the great player into that he can be one day.
Yeah, I could not agree more, because having that supportive voice there is sometimes even more important than having a supportive person in the server. You know what I mean? To be able to just turn to someone, hey, what do you do in this instance? How do I handle this particular scenario, right? Like, you'd want those individuals who have lived it, who have been there, to be a part of it. But here's the thing, folks, all right? We're going to take a little bit of a break talking about the match for a second, because there's a more important thing that we got to talk about.
Really?
Of course.
It's a way more important thing.
What's so important?
We got Baby Bay on the desk, so let's go ahead and shift gears and talk to the master of drip. It's now time for Baby Bay Watch.
Bro, how much did that watch cost you, Dre?
Too much. Too much. My bank account hurts. I don't got that phased paycheck anymore.
So here's the deal. Many of our champions teams have come to Seoul rocking brand new jerseys, and I ain't talking about the state. God, definitely not talking about the state. Good Lord.
One of the worst in the union.
God, I couldn't agree more. Elizabeth, if you're watching, no, haha, joke's on you. All right, so let's go ahead and critique these looks, shall we? First up, we have EDG's new jersey. I got all the jerseys here. We got a lot of nice ones.
That's a lot of jerseys.
I gotta say, Edward has been gaming with this design.
The old one was boring. This one is a little exciting, I feel.
I mean, it's definitely more exciting. You got the ketchup splatter. You got some mustard on it.
But that is not a ketchup splatter.
That is a fine signature, sir.
But okay. But the highlight of this jersey, the reason why I love it the most, is this handlebar right here. Okay.
What's the purpose of that?
EDG have 2 extra subs for a reason, Mimi, and it's because when anyone is messing around on stage, the coach is able to yoink them off and sub them in.
It's like a grab bar. That's so convenient.
Yeah, that's definitely why that's
there.
Can
I feel it?
No, pretty fire though. I actually do like it though.
I like the VCT logo on the back.
It's nice.
All jokes aside, and I like the tag on the side too.
Yeah.
It's got like a little bit of that, off-white or Supreme type of joint to it. I don't really buy that stuff.
I would say it's better than the last one.
It definitely is. And I like I bright jerseys, white jerseys like that. You got a little gold trim, which, you know, always appeases me. I'm quite a fan.
Solid jersey.
Solid
I like the
jersey.
gold for
How would we
champs,
rate
too.
it? How would we rate it out of a 5 rating?
Five?
A 5?
Oh, 5 ratings are bad. 10 ratings are more like
No, 5 ratings
reflective
are
of
the
reality.
best ratings
I'd give
in
it
the
a
world.
3.
You give it a 3? All
Because
right.
everyone cops out and does a 3, which is why 5 ratings are bad. Because
I'd
if
give
you
it a
do 5,
7.
it's more
Joke's
of an
on
insult.
you, Mimi. We're going 5. All right, here we go. Now, next one, we have Fnatic. Now, this one...
Fire. Look at how good it looks on the camera.
It is quite nice.
I know you're not a fan.
There's just elements to it that make it look like orange sherbet to me, but outside of that...
Orange sherbet's great.
It is delicious.
You went to Orange Julius and you got this in the summer. You're 14 years old.
I think it's better than the magma lava that they had last, you know.
I will agree. I will agree.
And I gotta say something. The quality of this jersey might be one of the best.
The patch here as well.
Listen,
it's like a real patch.
It's legit, and there's rubber on it and everything of the sort.
Fnatic have been in the esports game for God knows how long. It's great to see. They always put out quality stuff, so it's great to see them continuing that trend here. And the patch on the side is fantastic. I quite like it. How do we rate this?
I love it. I would give it a 5.
I like the
think it's
pattern
very
less than the EDG jersey, but I feel like it's a really high quality jersey. The patch is really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's
nice.
like a 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay, you can't just... I'm the host. I institute what the rating
It's
is,
a
Mimi.
3.5 out of 5.
I would give it a
Gracias, thank you.
3.9 out of 5.
All right,
Okay.
3.9
I respect
out of
that.
5. I'll take the point scores. I'll take point scores.
All right.
Next up is Gen G, and this one I like a lot. And there are a lot of
It's
reasons why I
classy.
like it. It's a classic look. It looks like the Seoul
looks like
Dynasty
Seoul
jersey, like you said
Dynasty.
before.
Yeah.
I
No,
like it.
It's fire. I mean, you can never go wrong with black, white, and gold. I mean, you just can't.
really can't.
And it's just
Gold looks great anywhere.
Yeah, you're going back to the basics here, which is great. And also, I love the quality of this, the texture of it. It feels airy.
Like the plastic.
Also, feel the logo as well is actually
The
quite high
texture of
quality.
it,
The
right?
texture of it.
Fun fact, that
Comedy.
actually is his jersey.
I don't know.
It actually
I like
is, though.
it.
We gotta
I think
return
it's
that one. Yeah, we
classy.
gotta
I think
return
it's good, but I think it's a little boring.
Bland?
It's a little bland. There's a lot of black and gold jerseys in this world.
Oh, wow. Okay, I mean, but that
It's
I mean,
good.
that's
but
a classic.
It's a solid
good.
4. It's a
A
solid
4?
4 because you can't go wrong
Out of
with
5 or out of 10?
it. Out of 5.
we have established
I
it's 5.
voted it,
Mimi.
5.
It's 5. That's the rating.
Okay, I agree. It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay.
Nice.
I don't know why. It's something you want. I feel
Out
like
of
you wanna
10
say
for
something.
you.
You want to say out of 10. Just gonna give me an aneurysm.
What's
All right,
next?
Here's our next one. This one I'm quite excited for. It's Team Vitality's new jersey. Look at this bad boy right here. Quite nice. Very different.
It looks like a
Here we go, baby,
real
right?
sport
Gas station?
jersey.
Go ahead and rate it with your drip scale.
Okay, this is a legitimate jersey, but I'll say one thing. I'm just not a fan of
Look
the
at the
jerseys
back
in
though.
general.
The gold. The gold.
The gold is okay. This is the saving grace of the jersey.
Yeah, it's kinda
all right?
hype.
And
Yeah.
I'll say one thing for those viewers out there. You're looking at the picture right there. It doesn't do it justice. It's way better in person. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah, I agree.
The blue is nice.
It's
I like
nice
the
and
blue.
shiny. It looks like it would be like nice to like wear like working out. It seems like it would like
Yeah.
wick sweat, stay
Like active
cool.
wear.
I also like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I can see
two-tone
that.
sleeves as well. It's quite nice with the white and the
Yeah.
red on each
I
side.
like it way better than their previous jersey.
I like it more than the previous jersey, and mainly because I love the way that they did the logo here.
Yeah.
I love the logo, and I love
Yeah.
that it's real. It feels good.
It
It's
kind of looks
rubber on
like
it
the Team
too.
USA jersey.
I was gonna say
they're gonna
this,
play in the Olympics.
This is screaming Olympics to me.
Totally.
I don't know
Totally.
why, but I'm with it.
Vitality honorary NA team
Honorary
with this
Team
jersey.
USA men's.
Yeah, they're gonna win an Olympic medal in Valorant.
All right, what do we rate it? What do we rate it?
I'd probably give it a maybe like a 3.
A 3?
I'm gonna give it a 7. Actually, an 8. I really like it. I think it's great.
I have no more hair
It
to lose.
feels nice too.
I have no more
So-
hair to lose, Mimi.
So 3.9.
No, an 8.
Okay.
That's a
fine.
4. Divide by
That's-
2.
Don't bring math into this.
3.9.
We're all
All right,
commentators. None of us know math.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
Come on. It's a common fact. Except you.
Dude,
You're.
I don't know. I dropped out of college. You didn't. You
didn't
like
even
went
go-
to a tech school though. You have more.
For graphic design, and it's
Yeah,
my passion.
but it's your passion.
Okay. So, there you have it. You got the ratings. You go ahead and let us know what you think about the different jerseys. Make sure you use the hashtag
Did you want
VCT
your
VALORANT Champions
jerseys
as well.
back so you can?
We got to
have some
return
shirts?
those.
have to, and
we got to return those.
We have
or
to make
else-
sure they're not.
Our producer Evan might get fired if we lose him, so make sure we keep his job here because he's very good at it. All right, well, this is now time for our MasterCard fan poll. Earlier we asked y'all what is the team with the biggest surprise, and congratulations, you all passed the excitement except for the 27% of you that didn't.
Good job.
Congratulate. Trace is the answer. They are the answer. right?
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
are
for
the
sure.
answer.
I think people got confused in the question somehow. I think they just wanted to pick their favorite team.
Yeah, I guess so, right? They really wanted to justify
I think people
it.
don't read and they only see the name of the team. Oh, I love DRX.
Oh, I heckin' love this team.
Oh, Heretics, they qualified. They made it
they're
through.
good, right?
To be fair, Heretics being a #1 seed, I think is both Heretics and DRX being #1 seeds is surprising.
All
I
three.
think them making playoffs isn't surprising, but I think being 1 seeds is surprising.
Yeah.
Trace making playoffs, insanely surprising.
Yeah, that is
Trace being a
shocker.
#1 seed.
That's
Who could have seen
extremely
that?
surprising.
Yeah.
Who could have seen
Apparently, 3.2% of the people, according to our pick'ems, that's the rating. That's crazy. That's
So
wild
wise.
stuff. Wise people there. All right. Well, speaking of pick'ems and predictions, let's go ahead and see what the Talon team feels is going to be the results of today's matchup here. As everyone put their votes in, I put mine in at the last minute, and I decided to get a little reckless with it, and did not see that one coming.
You're the only Foot fan on the team. Can you
I
tell
am
us about
a
it?
Foot believer. Okay.
What?
A fan of Foot Esports.
Oh, yeah.
Look, honestly, I think that this team, they definitely, kind of like Vitality, they got a little rattled up there, and I genuinely believe that we're going to see a new Foot today. They're going to have, the shoe will be on the other foot, all right? And that will result to a victory today, and I went all Team EMEA today, rooting for my homies across the pond.
Put your Vitality jersey on.
Yeah, put it on.
I can't.
though.
It wasn't.
We were going to. He can't. If he ruins
We're
it,
gonna have to like close
I was too
pin it on
fat.
the front
go
of you.
next.
I was too fat to wear them. I really wanted to.
He's
though.
too muscular. He'll rip
Thank
it.
you.
But
That's not
to
true.
your point, I think
Okay.
it's gonna be hard though for Foot, because I feel like both these teams have a similar play style, and if you're gonna try to play the same as PRX,
Yeah.
PRX is the master of that.
I don't know. I think they both play slow attack sides, which is a similarity, but I think that Foot plays a lot more like their playstyle. To me, it feels a lot more like kind of sometimes just like picking from a list of preset stuff. I feel like a lot less for EDG is preset. They do a lot more like on-the-fly mid-rounding stuff than Foot is willing to do normally, which I feel like might be kind of an advantage in that series.
I just want to believe in my Turkish brethren. I think they're going to bring it. I
mean, that's such a sick story, too. It's a rematch from last Champions. Foot made their first ever playoffs, and then EDG knocked them down to the lower bracket there. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is. History does have a tendency to repeat itself here. You know what, though?
Or excuse, I said EDG. I meant paper.
Yeah, right. Sorry, we knew what you were saying. We got you. We
Everyone
understood
understood what you were saying.
I do want to ask about the predictions. Real quick, what did you guys predict for this first match?
I went Vitality,
Went
but
Vitality.
I want to hear the Talon cope.
I went Talon. My Talon cope is that, cope being that they actually can close out a map. If they can take the first map away off of whatever, shenanigans that they have cooked up, I think they can really do it. I think both these teams have a similar problem in which, they didn't really show up and they kind of choke a little bit. So.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that I feel like Vitality, a lot of people, when you get like upset by one of the CN teams, people expect it to be because you got upset because of some crazy individual. That wasn't the case in that series. But I think if Talon are going to win today, it's twofold. They have to have some kind of surprising idea. They almost got a map off Lev because of coming out with a new comp that had some good ideas behind it. And they also had a great performance from Primmie. I think they again need both those things to beat Vitality today. And I think they really have to shake them, because Vitality, when they're playing at their normal form, has really good fundamentals to shut that kind of stuff down.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And if they can shake them, that's where the win condition is, because we saw that Vitality already has a problem in adapting. Right? But you don't know. Maybe it was just an off day for them.
Yeah, and we also have to bring up both these teams have a lot of rookies on that stage, and I think having the mental resiliency to like stay in it if you do get shaken like that is a big part of it.
And I'll tell you what, if there's a team that's mentally resilient, it's got to be Talon, because Frost, I mean, he's pretty hard on the boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough coach.
Bit of tough love.
Yeah, and sometimes, look, they say the pressure can turn rocks into diamonds, but sometimes I also think when you got a lot of young players on that stage, that could also backfire. The pressure could be a little too much for them.
Very true, but something about him that's very unique is that he takes a lot of that pressure off of them by being that guy that, is like the Dark Knight of VALORANT. I gotta say it.
Batman.
Yeah. like actually though, so him taking a lot of the fire kind of relieves pressure off the players, and also they actually buy into the system. Like they like it. They have a good team environment. It might seem like he's really hard on them, but they buy into it. They like it.
I think it really depends on the players, right?
Yeah.
Like some players respond really well to that, like kind of harsher, I guess like more like traditional sporty kind of coaching.
Exactly.
And some players don't, but if it works for them, it works for them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Indeed, indeed. All right, well, let's go ahead and get a quick word from Governor about the state of Talon as we get ready for the match on that stage in this Omen player moment.
My name's Peter No, but most of you probably know me as Governor, the flex player for Talon Esports. It was disappointing. Against Lev today, we were the underdogs. Even despite being the underdogs and being expected to lose, I think everybody kind of expected us to win that match.
The fact that Governor, as a solo lurk, eliminates him is great. And look at the economy already. Okay, Governor. He's feeling it with this Neon. Taking down Aspas as well.
The person that has probably guided me the most and has been sort of a mentor for me since coming to Korea is probably my teammate Ban. His name is Joseph, but Joseph has been super helpful in terms of like, you know, things that are like kind of outside of the game, like staying consistent and like how to deal with certain pressure and also just in-game stuff. I think Joseph is very intelligent. I think his time on T1 really accelerated and improved his gameplay from when we last met, which was 2 years ago when we were on a team. Now after meeting him again on Talon, he's become someone who's gotten so much better and has become my mentor.
So we do want to inform everyone we're experiencing a small delay, but while we wait, we'll continue the conversation here, and let's go ahead and dive into some more of the individuals on the side of Vitality and talk about, you know, Sender, right? Another player in this team that, again, you're really just looking to see every one of these guys bring it today, Baby Bay. But Sender in that controller role is certainly going to have his work cut out for him with this very unique Talon lineup.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a lot of finessing around smokes. I mean, he's been great, honestly, all year on the Omen. And he's special. I mean, a lot of these players on Vitality are very special, and that's why they went on the run they went on. I mean, otherwise, they wouldn't have been here.
For sure.
Yeah, Sender as well, the IGL. It's hard to know how good the inner workings of a team are, but I feel like their macro and besides that game at Champions, in EMEA at least, their adaptations tended to be really good, and you definitely have to give some of the credit to this guy as the squad's leader.
Yeah, I'm actually quite curious to see where we end up going with the maps. That is going to be very interesting. We'll find that out in just a little bit, but it's all on the line today. Talon versus Vitality, PACIFIC versus FUT. Day 8 of Champions Seoul starts right now.
G2, 13-8 and 13-9. They were the better team here today.
You cannot winning everything in life, so you just need to stay calm and not overreact. You can't feel like forever, so you just gotta bounce back and move on, I would say.
EDG, a 2-0 finish for their opening game of Champs.
I think a lot of people would have favored EDG in the game, but a 2-0?
O yüzden şu an aldığımız ilk yenilgi beklediğimiz bir sonuç değildi ama şu an daha her şey bitmedi. O yüzden üstüne koyarak devam etmeye çalışacağız. PACIFIC bence geçen sene oynadığımız PACIFIC'le çok aynı değil bence. O yüzden bir önceki Champions kadar göz korkutmuyor bence. We realize there is a problem in our team we need to fix and I hope it's gonna work. O yüzden son şans. Yapacak bir şey yok. Kaybedersen evine gidersin. Here we are, meeting again. So let's just have fun.
Şampiyon olmamız için açıkçası birbirimize güvenmemiz, eğimimize güvenmemiz lazım.
Özgüven.
Evet.
Şimdi biz geçen sene futbola bak Champions'ta kaldık. Şimdi tekrar kaldık. Bu sefer 5 Türk artı yanımızda eski şampiyon var.
Estağfurullah, estağfurullah. Champions ünvanını yenilemenin vakti geldi bence.
Geldi. Bu sene o sene.
VCT 2024 Champion.
Şampiyon olmaya. Şampiyon olmaya diye.
Şampiyon olmaya.
Against Lev, it was disappointing. Even despite being underdogs and being expected to lose, it was a close game.
I think we came in and going, okay, they're probably going to get bullied out of this server. But this squad, Talon, they've impressed.
We keep beating ourselves with like these tiny little mistakes that have nothing to do with how good we are. Champs, now that I've made it here, I definitely got the sense that I belong.
Trace Esports take down Vitality.
It's a hard loss for us. This team is very young. This is my first champs. For me, I wanted to go to players at least.
I told them, like, you've earned your right to be here now. You got to take every second in. It's only now. So use it.
My entire career, I always wanted to show Thai players are able to shine on the bigger stage.
The shot is missed, and now, well, Governor's under real trouble. How has he done that?
ผมคิดว่าเป็นบทพิสูจน์ให้ทีมไทยแล้วก็ผู้เล่นไทยนะครับที่เขาเรียกเราว่าเป็นทีมเราก็ทำได้ครับ
Talon Esports. Team Vitality.
And here we go. Talon Esports taking on Vitality. Both teams backs against the wall, do or die. You win here, you move on in the competition. It only gets tougher from this point forward, and you lose your tournament, your hopes, your dreams are done.
And your year. Both these teams have made great runs in their regions, but have yet to show up fully here at Champs. Looking at our map, Veto.
Interesting.
I think what's really interesting about prepping a Veto against Talon is that there is so much variety in what they're willing to play. In Pacific, a lot of maps, they're playing multiple comps. And even when they've shown up here to Champions, they're willing to do the same. So I think for Vitality, the day is going to be about adaptation if they get thrown a change-up.
Yeah, you got to be able to call on the fly. It's going to be a lot on Sender right now. We talked about him earlier, about how special he actually is. And he's going to have to prove it in this moment. He's going to have to step up big time.
Yeah, indeed he is. And now, another thing to keep in mind with that Lotus pick coming in from Talon, I'm kind of excited maybe see the Primmie on Clove.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that, remember, his first ever map was on that Clove, and he went insane. A 4K in the first pistol round he played at a tier 1 level.
Yeah, he went nuclear. And the story of this map pool is honestly, obviously, Lotus is Talon stomping grounds. They won the last 4 matches on it. You go to Sunset. You have the last 4 matches won by Vitality.
Yeah.
It should go to Bind. It should go to Bind.
It should, but if Talon lose Lotus, that's where things get scary. Because Talon, I mean, they look great in their region, but this is the stomping ground for these EMEA teams. Vitality has played a lot of Lotus against some of the best teams in the world here. And as we look at the comps, we get Primmie on the Clove again.
Yeah.
That should be sick to watch.
It's actually the same compositions the last 4 matches these teams have played. Or, well, I guess the first one for Primmie, right?
Sure.
Second one for them. But Vitality have played this comp the last 4 times, and they beat Heretics on it.
They did.
And it's not easy to beat Heretics on this map. We saw them go crazy in Shanghai.
And I think the Deadlock implementation from Ban honestly looked pretty solid. They had some good ideas on their defense, but they are definitely feeling the lack of Cypher at times. I would imagine Vitality is going to look to play a pretty slow game, and Runner is going to try and find those gaps that this setup inherently will have for Talon.
And when you're running a breach composition, it might put a lot of teams in a trap where it's like, oh, we have a breach, we got to play fast, but they're not have to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute barn burner. Let's go ahead and dive into map 1. Send it over to your casters who are also facing elimination today. Here's Brandon Sideshow. Do a good job.
I didn't know that. That's a lot of pressure. Dude, you're throwing that upon us.
You better perform today.
Me?
You better perform.
I'm under the firing line.
No, I mean, we both are if you don't.
Well, listen, don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
It's just tough love. I've been learning from Frost.
From Frost himself. Yeah, I mean, I might be just crumbling under the pressure myself, though. And pressure's a big word that we're going to be using, I think, all throughout this series. Yeah. And the expectations and stakes that are going to be leveled against some of these teams, Vitality and Talon, and the nerve that they have on the big stage. Because as much as this is a battle of the minds and strategy might come come into it in terms of counter-stratting and wondering, you know, if you can deal with these unorthodox compositions that Talon are running, I think a bigger part is going to be their mentalities and whether they can settle those nerves, because Gorilla and Frost have spoken about it, both of these teams actually, in terms of that being a deciding factor in terms of them losing that opening matchup that they had.
Remember, there are huge amounts of rookies on the stage right now. You might have watched these teams throughout this year and even remember some of the cores into the previous year as well, but they haven't been on big stages very often. These are two teams that have done a great job of earning their spot this year at Champions. But one of the big narratives that I think we have to touch on very early here as we're about to watch the pistol is what the desk mentioned about Primmie. Talon only needed to win one game to get them to champs after they'd earned that spot in playoffs. They brought in Primmie. He got a 4K on both sides of Lotus in the match they played against Secret to win those pistols. He literally won them that map just through that impact. Whereas Vitality on the other side, winning nearly 60% of their pistol rounds, 60% of their bonuses. They are used to getting off to hot beginnings in these maps. Only one narrative can prevail here.
Let's see if that raw firepower of Primmie is enough to carry them over the line, or will it be those set ideas that Vitality have coming into it? Early on, you're seeing it. Vitality posture over towards the B side here with a nice and early haunt. Doesn't reveal too much, and they're perfectly willing to slow it all down.
Sender's going to want to be looking to bait out this barrier mesh.
Talon reclear. Up through B, looks like they're thinking about it. It's in the back of their minds, and they do bait out some of that utility, but Runner needs to put his best foot forward. And he does so with that opening kill.
So they break the barrier mesh, force out all of the utility from Ban. No deadlock util left around. And this trip kind of stops Jit Boys in his tracks.
Good nade from Governor now.
Look how
almost the inevitable.
Look how well Vitality are bleeding out utility here, and they still have nearly full breach util and paranoia and horn and boombot. Vitality are winning the utility game right now.
Losing the map control game. Jit Boys though, Jiggle Pete gets the info, needs to back away here with a paranoia to bail himself out, even go for the swing himself. Tagged up with a few stray bullets. Does need to play for his life here though. And Trex has been isolated, calling for the retreat as well, and regroup back up to just 20 seconds left. This is going into the stack of the Talon players. I feel like there's danger online here, but with Primmie dropped, it's all navigated. Safe pair of hands. Runner himself leading the charge for the rest of his team with that three-piece. Now it comes down to these individual moments. Jit Boys' classic game is looking sharp today, but two, not going to be enough. Ban's left to do quite a lot. A lot of damage done. It's kicks and Trex, but you've got to think that discipline. Vitality, yeah, contact from Trex, and if he didn't win it out, there's plenty more players where that came from. So, pistol round, keeping it going here. Vitality, the statistics, leading the charts with it.
And I think you can see in that pistol why they've been so successful. They approach these rounds extremely seriously. They're trying to work out every piece of that defensive utility before they go into the site exec. Was it slightly worrying because they had little time left on the clock? Yes. But if you're comfortable in that position, then it's still going to be very successful for Vitality. That raw individualism, not able to find the value there for Talon. And Vitality picking up big weaponry, Vandal, Phantom, looking to bring that into their bonus round. Another reason why Vitality have got off to such incredible beginnings in their halves. Over a third of the halves, they start up 4-0 just by winning that pistol, follow-up, bonus, follow-up.
It's a big deal. Not just for the economy, obviously. I mean, it's good to have the weaponry, but ult's built up.
I think the Sender's calling's very strong on this map too. So Talon, while this map has been good for them since adding Primmie, and Primmie on the Clove will give you big moments. You just have to wait and watch. He's much better, in my opinion, in that second in position rather than the entry, where he can trade out his teammates so consistently. So Talon are going to feel comfortable here, but Sender's calling on attack side. He's going to look to pick them to pieces.
I planted.
Nice and early plan here for Vitality. There shouldn't be too much danger here for them. Stack of Talon did not pay off. Just thinking about the compositions as well. It's odd for both teams. I mean, they're not playing meta stuff. These are the usual compositions that they will play on these maps. But they are, you know, you've got to think that they play out differently, I suppose. The usual flow chart that we would go into, I think, talking about Lotus. You're talking about, oh, maybe that lurk control over towards A, trying to build up showstoppers for the execs.
I mean, the showstopper is still going to be a really big tool that both teams rely on their attack side. But for Vitality, we have actually seen quite a few teams lean into this double initiator look on Lotus. Where it's supposed to succeed on the defense side is by playing a lot of these heavy retakes. Use plant denial and then retakes to be able to build up strong defense sides. That's an area that Vitality have struggled with. So when the sides swap, then it's anybody's game.
Yeah, we'll be taking a closer look at that.
But I think, yeah, the importance here in these early few rounds of Lotus is for Talon to make sure that Vitality do not snowball out of control. This is a big round for Talon to try to win so that they can avoid that economic collapse.
Managing their economy as well, they can bring in 3 rifles. Tons of danger here. Vitality in the hands of Runner, Kicks, Trex, excuse me. And early Odin spam. Been a while since we've seen some value gain from that one, but Runner just overextending into the corner, not anticipating it.
Yeah, not thinking that that was going to be coming through. Nice pickup from Cruz, good positioning too. We see that from quite a few teams. But you're right, doesn't normally end in a kill. Vandal, not wasted. Safe gets that one back. Very, very far away from a showstopper. Not even a single point gained for Safe there on that attack side. So it's going to be looking like building up towards that Rolling Thunder instead. Here you see Kicks prioritizing the orb. He's got the one with the spike as well.
He's been straight past the barrier mesh, but it's bursted down at a moment's notice, and they do have this insert. Now a nade over towards B as well. It's posturing occurring, trying to pull these players away to potentially allow Sender to get a cheeky kill, but he's just holding the space for now and takes the speed. I mean, that peak timing is beautiful. Ban had the Utilan in his hands.
It's fantastic calling from Sender. That insert, go and pressure B.
He's going to walk take another fight. Oh, it's Primmie. He's so alone taking that one, and spam through the smoke will do most of the job. Ending the round basically before it even begins.
And this is what I'm talking about, the Vitality bonuses. They are just so good. You see that it could be set, could have been called on the fly. Either way, a bit of C pressure, break the barrier mesh as soon as it's placed, and get Sender deep. Talon don't really have that protocol to re-clear through water.
That's a really nice idea.
Yeah, and he's just there perfectly. There's not much that Ban can do to think about that.
Yeah.
Unless he's got teammates with him that are willing to flush that out. Both teams should start to get ideas about this kind of stuff, and maybe it'll force Talon to sit back a little more on the C side. Either that or push super aggro. But you don't want to be stuck in a middle ground where you're worried about people infiltrating you.
These guns need to be held into the necks if you are Talon. What is the danger? Safe. Rips one of them away.
And so only the Odin saved. That was a 4v5 as well. Lest we forget. That was with Runner dying at the start to Odin spam straight off the rip. No value gain from his death. Just a straight up 4v5. This is the kind of stuff that people were expecting to see from Vitality coming into the tournament.
Yeah, right out the gates.
Exactly. If they can sustain this, then they will start to flip people's perspective of how the team's performing. Because it was a big shock to a lot of people that they ended up going down to Trace early.
And of course, you know, I mean, they were peaking at the right times in EMEA regionally, making it all the way to the finals.
Even with a role change too,
yeah.
Right? They had to recover their season. A lot of people thinking that Vitality would be a great team, really good rookie signings. They didn't do much for the first half of the year, and they recovered that by putting Safe back onto Duelist, swapping up a few of their roles, making a coaching change. And for them to go out in groups today would be devastating for these guys.
No, truly. The expectations are much higher. But for both teams as well, I think the expectations that they've set for themselves are quite high, as we were talking about, you know, that willpower and nerves coming into effect. Frost has very high expectations. He felt like that he should have won that map or match against Leviathan initially.
And I don't think it's completely unreasonable. There was certainly, you know, 80% of the game where Talon were playing very close to Lev.
Cruz uncleared. All good. Okay, still peeks out into the open though.
And this Odin's pretty far away. You're watching the way that Governor's playing. He doesn't want to lose the Odin. He's playing it in quite a safe, passive spot in that BC connector.
30 seconds left.
He may get a chance to have some damage as Vitality NB.
Incredibly cautious by them. I mean, only again at the 20-second mark, they're making sure they can use full usage of the time. And they have sniffed out the successful A stack, so get the plant down safely over towards B as well. If they can string together a couple of more of these kills, it'll be ideal for them. Ban's still alive and kicking. Off to the side here, but they've got most areas locked down. Sender very aware, of course, of the one-way propped up in front of him. And this should be a very standard job just to clean up these last players.
I'm not sure the Governor's even going to want to go down here. I think saving the Odium would be a priority, but he's got no chance.
No chance.
The breach util comes flooding into that connector. And so far, it's Sender's calling that's pushing them over the line. Vitality are playing like a very disciplined, well-oiled machine. Talon with an incredibly early tag time.
I was about to wonder, when was it going to come out? Because, yeah, I think the calling has just been, as you mentioned, it's stellar. Despite the fact that Vitality have been coming into some of these rounds, losing a player with the first death on their side, they've still managed to navigate their way through almost all these scenarios.
Talon need to be disruptive. You're losing the straight-up game if you just sit back and play passively and try to read where Vitality are going. You're clearly getting out-called on the macro in these first couple of rounds. So I'd like to see Talon try to challenge a little more. Look to go for some of these 2- or 3-person re-clears through B. Yes, it didn't work on the pistol. You died to Runner, but that can't dissuade you from going from it entirely. Maybe take a big fight over towards C Mound. If they pressure you, all right. Figure out what happens when you take the fight to Vitality. You already know what happens when you just sit back passively. You're losing. Got to change something up.
Get stuck in, get a bit active. Just to switch things up a little bit here.
And get players online. Primmie and Governor yet to find a kill. We've been talking a lot about nerves. It's an elimination game. And the Talon leadership of Frost and Cruz, who are the ones that are going to be having that input there during the tag timeout, they do hold their team to a standard. And they said that they fail to meet it fairly often, which is harsh.
It is harsh, yeah. With inexperienced players, sometimes, listen, a bit of coddling doesn't go amiss. But here we're going to see a bit of an explosive fight over towards A Rubble. Both of these teams gearing up like they want to try and clash here with a fault line. Signaling quite a lot with the TP across. Sees, connects, and that is beautiful timing. Laid out one after another here by Talon with a C's and an aid. It's a big opener with Sender now gone. And a re-exploration out towards C Mound. Doubled up Talon. This is Primmie and Ban side by side going to be catching Runner. Unaware, shoulder to the side still. Runner almost adjusting in time, but this is a massive advantage now for Talon. It's all about not squandering it and letting it slip because Vitality already making calls of their own. The contact plays creeping and crawling up through and around here. Governor spotting it. Satchel is nice. On either side, pushing them back. But already with Cruz falling, Jitboy's forced to retreat in through the back of the site and he needs some help and support. Governor up and over the shoulder from that high ground. Trex with a beautiful shot. Lands it, nails it, and he wants even more. But the showstopper earned and will get a kill. Dropping Trex in the process. Kicks that last one left. Offered these easy 1v1s and he's brought it to that 1v2. Plan will get the ult online.
Another spot where Ban and Primmie probably need to be getting a little active. Pushing forwards, catching kicks as he goes for the plant.
This time committing to it. He's seen no signs of life and already right from behind. There's the backstab. Talon. They don't want to let that one slip. The beginning of that round when they get off to such a good start with those 2 opening kills.
That's a very solid tag timeout and good adjustment coming off the back of it. It's exactly what we were talking about. Instead of sitting passively on the sites, go out, get that information. Seize nade, well timed together to be able to punish Sender off the rip, but then the double push coming out through C, catching onto Runner, opening up the map massively and forcing Vitality's hand. They had to go for the react into A because they had no info left. As soon as you take the Cypher down. We were waiting for both of these Raze players to get off the blocks. It's Governor, who had 0 kills, goes up to 3 in that round. Big part of why his team was able to get across the line.
I'll find you.
Probably going to see more of that proactivity from Talon. I mean, the Rubble fight worked out massively in their favor. It was a really good idea.
You see Sender not going for the same teleport this time. There is some luck involved. Saves in.
Through the B side. I mean, Governor's stunned up as well, so he can't really supplement the defense. Hold it against Nade, barrel, down to the feet. Safe is in so much danger here. And a bullet spraying away. Governor is fully aware of the positioning here, but an ult earned up. At least from the prior round, so Kix is holding on to this roll in front with the plant down, and Sender is going walkabouts. Wrapping all the way around, Talon unaware of this, and this is the danger when you're running that deadlock. You don't have that passive map control. Ban, unlikely contender, still wants a tango. The paranoia is good, excellent in fact, and the kills are being primed up for the taking. TP for the reposition now, Rolling Thunder pushing them back in a way to defuse. Will not be able to be stuck, and look at this from Sender is working magic. Miracles across the map, making it so damn uncertain. Still down now. Just to the one player, it's Kicks time running so damn short, it's got to be on his side with the shorty out. But already the round is won. Luckily for him,
And
Governor cannot play towards it.
That's a 3v5 recovery from Vitality. Another situation where the Talon leadership will be kicking themselves. Losing their minds at what happened there. Safe goes down early on, but they secure the B site, and this play from Sender's marvelous. Talon, you can see, are not as aware of some of the other teams about the shortfalls of the Deadlock comp. Love this syncing the Omen ult with the Fade ult, so there's no noise cues. Beautiful stuff. Sender again, the playmaker, the one that's understanding the flaws of how Talon are playing their defense side.
Let's get to the point now where Vitality looking so damn in control of the rest of this game. This opening map, it needs to go Talon's way. Sunset for Vitality, in my opinion, one of their best maps, if not the best map for them.
And kind of low down in Talon's map pool as well.
So
the choices for Talon today to ban were Icebox or Sunset. They went for Icebox. So if Talon are able to win here and win on Bind, it's a very winnable series for them. It really is. But at the moment, underperforming their expectations, their standard.
Going for that re-peek. Out wide, it wasn't really set up with too much more util, but still plucks Sender out of that picture. You need to make plays like that when the weaponry is low. Going for the stack over towards C.
Yeah, they already cleared Sender from this spot. They didn't see anybody else, and yet the rotate still comes through to 5 stack on C, leaving all the rest of the map open. I think that's a mistake, but they'll be rewarded.
You're talking about mistakes, man. Safe is almost getting crushed in the hydraulics of the map.
And he's played a really bad game so far. I'm not just talking about the scoreboard. There have been so many moments where Safe is getting caught out. Not what I expected at all for a top 5 duelist.
Flustered. Opportunities. Can't squander them here. Trex is hearing all sorts of footsteps. What is going on with the macro play here? The fast flank of Talon is committed with all 5 of them. They are, I mean, listen, understatement to say that they've lost all map control here. To plant down onto the B site. Flanks on flanks.
Both teams here will be wondering what the hell the other is doing.
Yeah, there's so much unknown. With the Nightfall committed as well, you've got to be aware, obviously, of the one position, but it's fully avoided out wide.
Talon's like, okay, there's nobody on B. They planted B, there's no one here.
Yeah. And who's going to be playing this one for the post? What have they got for it? Sees, flying, but dodged. Aftershock, and one of their own as well. That util combo is nasty. No kill annihilation now popped off Talon. Going for the stick here and covering through these smokes as well. A bit of spam will save the arm. And they're all lining up for it. My goodness. Damage done. Talon have got to bring this mic from the brain, but they cannot do it. The weaponry too strong. Vitality once more. Just pull him. I mean, dude, they are getting away with so much here.
Yeah, I think the adjustment to try to fight more in the early round is actually working for Talon. It's another round, I think, where they got up 5v3 again, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big advantage.
They picked off Sender, they picked off Safe. Yeah, it was a 5v3 again. And yeah, the weaponry's not that great. And the plant position is awkward to deal with. But the decision-making is leaving me scratching my head.
It's real strange. Again, another least clash over towards the A-Rubber angle. Last time Vitality were not favored in this one, so they're willing to concede it very early on. Can't get that space. Pivot by Trex potential there. He's just trying to catch the contact with these players. Pre-aim with the bullets.
Trying to make as much noise on B as possible, make himself feel big as Vitality flood into C instead. Talon have not known where Vitality are trying to plant at any point in this match.
Be playing for that retake, missed time in here with a flash and a peek, but at least playing together in the moment. Kicks, he's gone for that plant, spam down straight through the wall. Primmie off angle is nice, still being hunted down, sprayed down. Sender, that was a messy one, still granted that kill. They need a few more where that came from. Still sitting with that player disadvantage. Governor with a showstopper, but he's going to be dropped, and that's no longer a problem. Now for the reflank, Jit Boys off round. Trex is so damn aware. Dropped them before a moment's notice. Cruise and ban. A lot to do in this spot. Time ticking away. You can hear it, the spike, and this is going to become a problem. And the call is made already. They're just backing away. Got to save some of these guns. But this is a brutal, brutal beginning for Talon, as we've already mentioned. The map pool, when you zoom out, Sunset, it's not one what they're favored on. If they go down early into this series, I mean, where do they win?
I mean, and this is tragic, the way that it's slipping away from Talon. It's another 5v3, Brent.
Yeah.
Another one. That's 3 in a row.
The player advantage is you cannot be dropping them like this.
Especially when Safe is not winning his duels. He's at the bottom of the scoreboard, 2 and 4. Kicks died getting the plant down. Safe dies taking a duel that's pretty reasonable. He just can't get it, and you fumble the 5v3 retake. Doesn't matter what kind of macro ideas you've got if you're losing advantage spots like that.
Just fumbling it here. Bullets are flying forwards towards these Vitality players. Safe's almost dropped.
Another round where Safe's very weak and is going to struggle to get value. Another team flash from Vitality.
It feels flustered from both of these teams, but now there's going to be a fight taken with the Showstopper in the hands of Governor. No kills to be found. Any sort of damage as well, but it might be supplemented at least. Primmie, the rest of his squad going to be alongside it. Full stack of these players.
Give him another one and then win the 3v5 again. Apparently there need to be 2 sacrifices in order for Vitality to win the rounds. Blood for the Blood God. They're going back over towards C here. This is where the barrier mesh was laid down early on. That is going to be expiring at some point, but Ban's trying to keep that timing in the back of his head. He can hear the shots now too, so he knows for probably the first time that Vitality are looking to end C.
They're in the fight here. Gravitet's going to be held.
At the same time, they actually have opportunities to go back to Runner. You know, they're not full committed to C right now.
Might be soon. Sensors at their back. Kicks needs to be careful of overstepping himself. He's pulled out a lot of that util from the Talon players. And players
they're looking
as well.
to go B. Look at the spot that Runner's got himself into.
Okay.
It's difficult, though, for Safe to get in here. Even with Showstopper, he's so weak.
Cruiser Spam could make all the difference. Trex is firing. This guy lighting him up. Primmie, chance potentially there with the ult. Not dead yet, but doesn't offer to use it here. Sitting into the fight. Now, damage still done to these Vitality players, but at least they're into the post plant themselves. And the Neuro Theft lighting up most of them. Talon feeling uncertain, shaky territory. Even with the Nightfall as well, catching. Noise cut away from Jit Boys. One broken as well. A battle on multiple fronts. Trex is locking it down fully, entirely. A tap from Governor, but now looking this way, that way, 180 direction. Not enough eyes available for him to even know which way to play it around in. This is Vitality again. Now they're just walking all over them.
And I said that Vitality's defense was not amazing, and Talon will look good on the attack side. It doesn't matter if you end up losing this half to this kind of degree. The second half, it's not even really going to get played.
I know. It's, at this point, money's not good for the next round as well for Talon. Spoiler alert. Probably figured that one out yourself.
They need somebody to go huge on this eco to get them back in. They need an 8-4 half here. I mean, could they maybe do it with a 9-3 and a pistol? Like, you're stretching at that point. You are really stretching. And if they lose this, the series is looking so tough to win, almost impossible. And that's champs on the line for Talon, a team that did a great job of even getting here in the first place.
They can't.
They want to use this opportunity.
Absolutely. You don't want to just let it drop and slip away. Another exit. 2 matches played, and that's it. That's all you've got to showcase on the big stage. You can't have that being the case. I think back to the beginning, we're talking about the nerves at play, at work. This match, big portion of it feels like who is going to be able to get more comfortable on the stage faster. For Vitality right now, they're in large amounts of control. Safe opportunities for him to get onto the board of a couple of these eco kills. Door open wide. Ban can only do so much. Primmie does return that fire now into the 2 versus 2.
There are chances.
Yeah,
there really are definitely chances here, but they can't deny the plant. And there's 2 massive ultimates available for Vitality. Primmie's got a couple of lives available to him, but massive advantage still in favor of Vitality here.
Talon are just so, I think, scared right now. The possibility that a player could have lurked behind them. You can tell, contacted most of the way into this fight. And Kix is going to be taking that contact with just the jiggle, the jump up as well. That's a punish. Primmie, what a peek. Might be trying to make this one workable. Playable. Smoke's dropped down from Jit Boys as well. Heads barely popped up and over. Safe. You have an ult to play with as well. The nade up and over 2. Satchel through. Paranoia. Blinded. Oh, not quite. Avoided. Jit Boys, though, sticking this one. What is the play right now? Fight to be won. Ult. Bounded. Up against the wall, but it's already stuck. Talon. They steal that one away. And can they even be happy with it still? I suppose so. Listen, every single round is going to count at this point.
And that was the round where they had the weak economy. So it is still possible for them to get that 8-4 half up. Safe was banking there on the fact that Jit Boys was just fake tapping on that first one, scared of the ultimate. Overthinking things maybe slightly. I mean, based on what we've seen so far today, it's not like it's perfect Valorant. It's not like your opponents are going to be thinking about every single piece that's available to them, but Yeah, Jitboys was super happy to just stay on that until the ult itself was popped. And we are straight back in here. Talon looking to crunch on Sand.
And it's the tempo increase here with the Paranoid. Not a connection on Descender. He's got to try and drop some of the players, but only himself. Return to Descender. Van up and over here. Rolling Thunder will be sending them sky high. Trex to follow up as well. The TP from behind Jitboys. Only the one before the trade comes through. It's a 2v3. Damage done to Governor. A scrappy affair.
But a spot now where even with the player advantage, Talon can't cover the entire map. You can't really spread out 1-1-1. You're just going to give Vitality too many opportunities. And they found a player.
And a peek by Runner, man. He has ripped Crew's head off.
And now
lock that down.
Reset.
These moments where they're just slowing it down into the mid-round, contacting a lot, is throwing Talon for such a loop.
Yeah, I really love the attack macro. I think the whole of Vitality have got this drilled into them beautifully. Talon need one of these players left alive to come up
30
with
seconds
the play.
left.
It might just come down to these timings with 24 seconds left once more. Doubled up here, Primmie. Peak timing. Just misses it. Stray shots going wide here. Kicks, I'm not too sure. He is low. A single bullet to the chest will drop him. Kicks. Still going to be going for the plant. Satchel through and across, but the damage done there is Governor dropped into that 1v1. Aftershock pushes back Primmie. Only for a moment here. Down to it. Which player will spot each other first? And with the damage done to Kicks, Primmie might just be favored. Repositions, rotating around. Smoke props up, just spotting each other. Bodies passing by, and Primmie with the tap as well. But Kicks, the issue is not forced out of him. This guy's cold with it! Cold with it!
Really beautifully read there from Kicks. I don't think anybody is sticking that diffuse. When both players see each other and you dip into a smoke, Kicks has got the perfect read on what's happening there. Not even worried. And that's a round where Talon would have been hoping that their new acquisition was able to skill things across the line. Take down Runner, take down Kicks, and yet the rookies on Vitality prevail.
Wallah, your eyes cold. Best Estonian player in Champions.
That's true. Estonian Player of the Week, again, of course, for 92 weeks running or
Winning
whatever.
these awards, man. He's racking them up. It's unreal. But this is beyond dire at this point for Talon. Your best outcome is looking at 9-3, and even then you've got to do it with barely any ultimates, barely any weaponry.
And playing against one of the best pistol round teams we have at the tournament.
Yeah, so it's even unlikely into the second half.
Talon trying to get proactive, clearing out B, looking for that info so that they can land it in maybe an unexpected spot for the retake. If they break this trip, of course, though, eyes are going to be looking backwards. People like Runner, people like Trex.
There it is. Trip's going to be broken already. Side control. Giving up and over. Vitality. Under that one. Just needs to get this plant down and active. Just a slight tap as well, seeing if there's some of that utility.
You don't know how many are on the flank here.
You really don't. There's a TP as well through Rubble, just to clear that one. Talon looking to try and take this one purely from the flank and buying time and space. Cruz, Jitboys, maybe to do some work and some damage, but Runner's going to be catching the contact here alongside the Boombot. The Horn is beautiful. Annihilation, though. That's going to be trading it. Bit of post-mortem, not to be saved on this outcome. Doors opened up. Sees as well. Giving this one up into that 4v4. Now another TP here, but Jitboy sticking this all the way. Diffuse is sticking! Running through, shot into the face. A 10th round dropped in a lab of Vitality. And with how good they've been on these pistol rounds, Josh, man, as we've been saying, it just feels inevitable.
It certainly does. This is the Vitality that people were looking for, the #2 seed from EMEA. Looking almost unstoppable in their region since they swapped Safe over to Duelist. They went missing at the beginning of their group, but they're back with a vengeance. And Talon have got to pull out something unbelievable, something special to get back into this.
They really do, but for now as well, we'll send it down to the floor for a nice little interview at the halftime.
Hello everyone, it's Bella back with the halftime interviews. I'm joined by a very special NA Game Changers player, Starry. Hello! 안녕하세요. 이제 오늘 이번 챔스의 탈론 경기마다 이렇게 매번 방문하고 계신다고 들었는데 이번 서울 챔피언스 좀 어떻게 즐기고 계신지 먼저 묻도록 하겠습니다. Heard you're here every day for all talent matches. How are you enjoying Seoul Champions?
I love it. I love watching the matches. I like feeling the vibe of like the stadium. It's really fun.
현장에 와서 경기도 보고 이 현장 분위기에 심취하는 게 가장 재밌게 즐기고 계시다고 하네요. 그리고 이제 벤 선수를 응원하기 위해서 이렇게 매일 방문하면서 좀 응원도 많이 해주고 그리고 가장 중요한 건 오늘 경기 어땠는지 이야기를 좀 들었을 수 있을 것 같아요. 먼저 물어보도록 하겠습니다. You're here every day for Ben, and I'm sure he really appreciates that. Can you tell me what was his mindset going in before today's match?
I think he was just really excited to play. I mean, making champs was definitely one of his goals for the year, and he definitely met that. And now I think he's just hungry to win. So.
이제 정말 이제 그냥 신났고 경기를 할 수 있음에 너무 즐거움을 느끼고 있고요. 그리고 챔스를 얼마나 간절히 원했는지 알기 때문에 이제는 챔스 진출했으니 승리만 가져가면 된다고 합니다. 그리고 이제 스타리 씨도 NA 게임 체인저스 선수시잖아요. 이제 탈론이 컴백을 하기 위해서 좀 어떤 변화를 주면 좋을지 물어보고 싶습니다. You're also a game changers player. What do you think Talon needs to do to make a comeback?
Honestly, I think they all just need to step it up. They look like they're sleeping on the stage a little bit. Like, this is not how they usually play. They're a lot better than this. So.
원래 하던 대로 지금 못 보여주고 있으니 좀 잠에서 좀 깨서 원래 탈론의 맛을 보여주면 된다고 하네요. 그럼 저희는 다시 로터스로 돌아가겠습니다. Back to Lotus.
Sleep at the stage, I think, as well. But maybe, you know, there's a chance that they're getting a little bit too flustered as well, as we were talking about near the beginning. This pistol round. We always highlight the importance of them. This time, it's a necessary win for Talon, but they're up against Vitality. They have been clean with it.
And it looks like Vitality are setting up for a push out through Mound here. But it might also have a component that pushes B. And you've got Kicks and Trex in that position. Two players that have been firing. They decide not to go for the aggression, though. Purely setting up Sender and Safe. Now anchoring the B site.
Catching these players, are they going to try and pivot this one? Okay, there's Paranoia primed with the door opened wide, but they don't spot any players. So
Talon avoid giving away information, but then throw smokes out. So now Jitboys doesn't have any smokes for another 5 seconds. So they can't go for any kind of exec just now.
Yeah, it's not like they're running a Viper either.
Another situation where Vitality have got a lot of info and Talon haven't contested them for it or made them pay in any way.
And the setup is quite nice. It's a kill trip to play off out through A. Don't expect that one. Down close to the floor. Prowler will not be clearing it. Kicks with a jump spot as well. Not too sure if he got that information, but it seems likely, at least with the smoke now up in their face. Cruz pull the knives away. Gives Safe that timing to prime that nade. Still Runner out through the back of the site and he's got to do quite a bit. He's lucky not to be dead. Governor just did not clear the corner properly, even though he's inside the camera. Already that aftershock, pushing him back and away. Prowler in the face. Kicks. He's already in there. Getting stuck straight into the fight. Players flooding all the way through. Vitality. Add another one to the tally. This pistol round win rate is going through the bloody roof. And the map is just being stolen away right now from Talon.
Talon have never had ownership of it. That would be a prerequisite for any kind of theft to have occurred. And it's the same two players, Trex and Kicks, doing such a great job. They were anchoring B when it looked like Talon were going to be heading there. And then as they make the pivot, using those clove smokes to supplement the Omen smokes there on C, it's again Trex and Kicks anchoring, getting those kills, playing incredibly for the team. They've got 30 kills between them.
Uh-oh. The rubble fight here and the force up as well. Sender it's right into their faces. Damage done to him, but he's still alive here with the Paranoia flying forwards as well as team to play off all the little bits and pieces. Util down, dropping, and maybe feeding away. Primmie has done so much into that spot. Runner, it's not the last one left. They weren't expecting that.
A slight overheat from Vitality there, and Primmie's happy to collect. Runner's healthy, the others aren't.
And they're holding for this push as well. Runner maybe even expecting that they were already going to be up onto that site. With the slightest amount of discipline, and Talon are granted the tiniest of lifelines.
It would be a long, long road back. This is the side, though, again, where you get that big impact out of Primmie. He likes using the aggression of other players to be able to trade off them. He is top of the scoreboard, but far away from being top when you consider the players on the other side.
Trex has just been a monster this entire map. He had very high peaks as well during EMEA playoffs.
He certainly did.
Showcasing very similar form, at least so far. For now, Vitality down to those weaker buys as well. I mean, Kix has managed to get himself at least some sort of gun as well, just because the way that Vitality manage their economy off the back of pistol rounds. They usually keep one player just so they can buy rifles. But I doubt they'll be able to get too much damage done just with the Spectre in hands. A tap from Governor. He's very scared at a trap play potential because, listen, every round counts. You can't afford to let anyone slip.
It actually looks like a trap play on the other side of the map. You see the cam inside tree here. Potential for a long-range stun coming from Kix. There is a chance that players inside tree could get caught. The Talon don't appear to be drifting in that direction.
Horn doesn't get broken for Vitality. Horn is util flying out towards B. To fake though, and now they're going straight back into A. Ban only the one before the trade comes through. Now Talon might just want to commit fully into this B side as well, but going walkabouts is the danger zone, especially when you're up against the eco, but still, Spectre in hand.
30 seconds left.
Movement ajar, they take it in another direction entirely. Pivot over towards C will be that free plant.
3v4 where two of the players actually have some weaponry to work with. Talon still have to be disciplined in this spot.
Plan for Mound, they're all going to be played back there. No one on site.
They've got a couple of weapons that are good for Mound. Obviously, Governor's isn't that great, but the rest should be able to play this Mound post plant nicely. Primmie, however, though, with the Outlaw, I mean, his weapon's one of the best, and he's playing pretty deep in.
It's a strange angle.
He has to not get caught.
Up and over, but as soon as the cage has popped up as well, realizes there's some danger there. Runner taps it, forcing out the spam. Now realizing nobody's quite on this one. Again, the gun should sail them through quite nicely. Through most of it. If the guns don't, the time pressure certainly will. And nice bit of precision at the end there on display by Primmie.
Snappy shot. Yeah. One away from the ult as well. And now we get to see a rifle round to some degree. I mean, Talon are going to have all right weaponry heading into their bonus. The economy tends to be a bit better for the team that breaks the pistol. So they're going to be coming in with Outlaw, 2 Vandals. It's going to feel much more like a rifle round. Can Talon keep this momentum going at just a little longer?
Trex has got an Odin. Spam's going to be incoming here with a Rebel fight. Hear most of this. Trex doesn't go for the spam though. Doors opened wide as well. He's going to be under a lot of pressure.
What a flick.
Yeah, bullet tagged up. Governor just shrugs it off. Lands the bullet anyway. Beautiful first kill now for Talon, but it's all about how push past that point. Got the advantage. It's all about not dropping it.
Remember how many 5v3s they lost in that first half. 3 in a row. Vitality looking to try to equalize this by taking a risk. Safe and Kicks doubled up, pushing out through B. It's where the spike is, but I think they'll just miss the timing.
It's an awkward one. Runner, jump spotting. Here's the horns. Sees the bullets. You don't want anything to do with that one, but you're going to be making a call for the team. Talon don't give up a rubble control this whole time. Still locking it down just in case they do want to drift back into that direction. Safe is also going on. Re-exploration, punished for it. Jip Boys drops him. 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
That's an unusual one.
Strange angle to be fighting on. Yeah. Actually, from both of those players, Safe and Jip Boys.
So they stopped to 20 health though, and now doesn't feel like it's over towards A, but they should see this door rotating. Guns exchange once more. Time is running short here. There's no way Sender's going to be playing spoiler. Surely not. Horns broken. TP up and over. Dodging most of the nade as well. He wants to make a go of this one. This is getting cheeky. But Governor's watchful eye is on all of it. It's ruling that sight with a nice iron fist. And so runners once more left to do quite a bit into this spot, but unplayable really at this point in a 1v4.
And Talon have done a great job here. They had that opportunity to bonus up. They decided to actually invest into Vandals. They got rid of the Guardian, got rid of the Spectre. They still had the economy flourishing. And they've knocked Vitality down. When Vitality won the pistol, that pretty much should have been game over. Straight through to Sunset, keep that momentum into your map pick, close things out easily. Textbook Valorant. But Talon are fighting. They're not just going quietly.
Yeah, pulling whatever hidden reserves are left, honestly. Not willing to give up because the whole year's building up to even just make this event. You do not want to be going out early as one of the weakest teams at the event. It's just not where their expectations are going to be leveled. Doesn't matter about anybody else's.
And Talon took a huge risk just signing Primmie in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
They had a team that was making it to that playoffs level in VCT, and they chose to take a gamble to try to push them over the line. And it worked. I think prior to signing Primmie, they did actually look a little weaker than Team Secret. Got Primmie in. They just needed that one win against their rivals, and they beat Team Secret, with Primmie having really huge impact in that game. They get to champs. I mean, they double their take. If you want to talk about what that actually does for you, just making it to champs too. Doubling their take from the champ skins.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge already for any organization.
Money
should already be considered a win, but they're competitors. They're here to try to win some of these games too.
Exactly. The money is just almost like, I mean, it's a secondary objective. You're not even worried about it. As a pro player, your hopes and dreams rest on lifting a trophy, and there's no trophy bigger than the one that's at the end of this event.
Vitality are going to have to take an eco round, and they're also taking their first tactical timeout of the match. They were running away with the game. It was very comfortable, so this is the first time that they've really had to adjust anything. I think one of the things that's going wrong for them a little bit is that they're not catching Talon with their utility when they peak. A lot of the peaks are actually ended up being kind of dry. Now, I'm not a big fan of the way that Vitality play their defense on this map. I think their attack is immaculate. I think they're wonderful with that. Their defense, though, they don't lean into playing those big, heavy retakes, saving utility, bit of plant denial, get into good spots, flood retake. I don't really see that from Vitality in the same way that you do from the Americas teams when they're playing the Breach Fade comp on this map. I think it's an area they could improve on. But Runner, with the only hero rifle, takes down Ban early.
I mean, he's the one who takes point there, hoping that players will just walk into him, and he was blessed with it.
But Talon, patient. Jitboys needs to not overheat in this spot. He can't afford to die.
Okay, that's a lovely adjustment. Just snaps to the head of Runner. Removes him from the fight, but the rifle will be reclaimed into the hands of Safe now. Orbs farmed up. Talon trying to play towards some of these key pieces of util ultimates.
And with the door open, they could be going in either direction. Nice jump spotting from Trex.
Yeah.
He's pretty confident now that this is going to be a C hit.
Smoke fades though, he's going to have to back off here. Still, they hear this one. Do they have any sort of protocols? Yes, they do. Satchel away. Trex, he's spamming, praying that he survives here, but a C's off into the back as well. Safe over the shoulder, but he has been cleaned up. Damage definitely done with that ghost in hand. Still, it's Talon who barreled their way over most of this one here. Now, Cruise to the plant will not be stuck. Primmie defends though. He's pretty certain he knows what that last player is. Jitboys, make sure that the death isn't in vain.
What an important round for Jitboys to be coming online. If he takes that fight towards B and he loses it, that's probably the round. Massively important that he won that fight. I'm not sure he should have been taking it in the first place, to be honest, but they really wanted to apply that B pressure, and they did. He brought things back into a 4v4. But let's see what that Vitality tag timeout was looking to accomplish. They're one away from Showstopper, from Rolling Thunder.
It's another
massive
fight as well. Yeah, massive ultimates. Barely there, and kills will do it. Grant it, earn it. Governor's up and over as well with a TP. That's a reveal. Onto Safe. They still want to take this fight straight up into their face. TP's around center. He's cutting up ankles and potentially cutting up players too. Rolling Thunder to set this play up. Governor had nowhere to run. Just hopping up and down into the same spot here. That's barely 20 seconds into the round. A pivot has to be played now by Talon. We can see this trip into his face. Kicks is also holding it. Broken. He's missed the timing though. Primmie's passed it and he's squaring up for the fight, but not going to be given it. Slow and steady by Vitality. Realizing that they're a player up. They've got them relatively surrounded. There is that weak point up towards Heaven. Barrier mesh up.
Trex deciding not to break it, waiting for reinforcements first.
Right out through here. He's trying to take point and contact. Still kicks! You cannot be dominating this! My God! A six-piece available, and here, and now! Goodness me! What an unbelievable play!
Not just the ace, the 6-piece on top. This rookie player has never aced in VCT before, and he's just brought that out at Champions.
That's a hell of a way to do it. Yeah. My goodness, man.
What a beautiful setup with the Rolling Thunder as well, re-clearing through that position after Safe got caught in the grab net. These peaks are abominable from Talon, let's just put it as it should be. Not playing around Primmie's ultimate, not swinging together. They fed into kicks, but he was there and he delivered for all 6. He's got 20 kills.
Yeah. That is composure in the moment as well. You're being swarmed by bodies, and yeah, as you mentioned, listen, the peak wasn't great from Talon. It was very individualistic. It was all over the place.
They had so many things they could have synced up there. I mean, Primmie is ulting. They can try to double swing the other 2 players. They can try to wait until Primmie comes out of ult and swing with that.
Yeah.
They can have Primmie swing first as well, so that he actually tries to get some value from the ult itself. Just things going very lost in that moment, but playing perfectly into Vitality's hands.
Yeah,
with kicks getting 6.
I mean, capitalizes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Talon's timeout is the last one that they've got as well. They were saving it for a rainy day, which happens to be now. It probably was a while ago as well, if we're being fair, but it's a 6 rounds difference, and it would have to be perfect from here on out from Talon.
Right there.
Fully grouped up again with 5 of them. Set the sights over towards C Mound as just the one objective they want to fight over. Means they're going to be lacking a lot of this map control as well off the rip here, Vitality. Runner has got his full setup over towards this C side. TP into spawn. Jitboy's inside the one-way. It's pinged out of Paranoid. Did not connect. Jitboy still collects that kill. Runner, with him drop, the setup is down, and his team have easy access. Satchel through alongside the flash as well. And Util flying forwards. Jitboy cannot hold his own. Needs that backup and needs it now. Ultra popped off, flying forwards, backwards, this way, that way. Showstopper. It's all an abundance of Util. And enough to save the day here for Vitality. A clean sweep unless Ban has something to say about it. All broken, but they know where Ban is. Prowler towards his back, running him down. Racing him down, individual fights earned and utilized, but Vitality in the end with that discipline, doubling up to seal up the map.
A huge one for Vitality to take. In control the entire time. We got highlight moments, beautiful macro calling, and Safe finishes things off with the defuse. One of the biggest things that Safe said he learned this year was that it overwhelmed him to know that his teammates had his back, that he didn't need to carry every game. And you've just seen it again.
Yeah, evidence there. It's made manifest with that opening map, and it only gets better for Vitality. We're going into Sunset. Their map pick coming up next.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Maybe it's fake, 'cause we lie. Always try to chase it.